That's the GoPro Karma in flight right there. Okay, we're gonna put it through some real tests now. Hey everybody. Gear. Today's entire episode is going to be about gear. Today was Francine's first day at school by herself. Oh my God. Gear. I haven't talked about gear in a while. This entire episode is going to be focused on gear. If you're not interested in camera gear, come back tomorrow for our regularly scheduled programming. Now, my thesis on gear is pretty straightforward. I've shared it with you a million times. I always want the very best image possible, so long as it doesn't get in the way of me living my life or doing my thing. Now, what that literally means is like this. Like when I walk into an airplane and I'm carrying my big vlogging camera, which looks like this, the flight attendant says, hey, you can't have that. There's no filming in here. It gets in the way. When I walk onto an airplane holding this, nobody says a thing. They just assume that I'm a nerd who likes to talk into a camera. And there are other places where you just can't bring a camera into. I just use my cell phone. That's what I mean by the best image possible, as long as it doesn't get in the way. The gist of this whole thesis is that this $5,000 camera is often not as good as this $1,500 camera. And this $1,500 camera is often not as good as this $500 camera, less good than this $200 camera, and this $200 camera at times is not as good as the camera on my cell phone. You see, when the story is king, and the story is always king, these things just serve the story. And whichever one of these can tell your story the best is the best camera. Now, I've said all of this before. Why am I repeating myself today? Today is a very special day. Today is, well, in the world of drones. Now, if you're a longtime viewer of this show, you'll know how conflicted my relationship has been with drones. I still use this like toy drone because of its convenience. This was the only one that fit into my backpack. The image quality on that thing is like a bad cell phone camera, but this thing's been amazing. It produces incredible results. It looks like I've got a helicopter following me around. It's not super manageable. In fact, this is a regular backpack, and this is the pack that's meant to carry the Phantom 4. And it's kind of the only way to keep, what the hell is this? But it's like the only way to keep it safe. Now, going back to where I started about having the gear get in the way of you telling a story, I gave up on keeping that thing safe, and I just take the propellers off and cram it in my normal size backpack. That is in part the reason why I have 7 broken ones. What is the best answer to like the camera conundrum, but with drones? I don't know, and I don't know if it's been answered yet, but today, GoPro announced their new drone, and maybe that's it.
Oh, what can it be? Oh! Karma! Karma is so much more than a drone!
Now, I happen to have one right here, so I thought we could take a look. Just as a disclaimer, this is not a commercial for or was paid for by or is an endorsement of anything for GoPro. They just gave me the opportunity to check out this early prototype. So this is the actual drone itself. This here, this is the battery. Fully charged. Battery into drone. Feels pretty good. Now the magic. The drone wings actually just flip out on this. So this big guy collapses down to something far more manageable, even with the propellers on there. Something big here that's different is the fact that instead of having a fixed camera, this actually just has a GoPro on the front. Now I don't know if that's better or if that's worse, because I haven't flown this sucker yet, but now just for a quick size comparison, you can see here the manageability is favors the GoPro in a big way. Because the camera's on the front here, it means the legs can actually be smaller and fold out on the bottom because they're not responsible for protecting the camera like here. All right, and this is the gimbal here. This is what keeps the image totally steady. Gimbal here, gimbal here. But this is what GoPro did that's totally next level. Ready? The gimbal actually, okay, you turn this like this and then just slide it out. The gimbal just pops out. You take this little guy, and then you've got a handheld gimbal that gets totally steady handheld footage. And it's the same, this is the same gimbal that works with, it's the same gimbal that works on the drone I can now use and attach to stuff. I'm now gonna pack up the drone, take the gimbal, skate to somewhere where I can try and fly the drone and test the gimbal. Also, I didn't show you the controller because I haven't used it yet, but one thing I'm totally psyched about, it doesn't need a phone. Like, this is the whole touch screen here, controls here, buttons here, buttons here. It's kind of like a gigantic Game Boy. All right, drone and backpack there. This is the custom backpack that it comes with. Now, I'm gonna try something. All right, I'm gonna try to skate there with this thing on my chest. All right, this little guy right here, it's stabilized and it's rolling. Cobblestone. Being able to strap the entire stabilizer to my chest, pretty cool. All right, full disclosure, this is the maiden flight, my maiden flight, probably the universe's maiden flight of a GoPro camera in the wild. I've read no instruction manuals, and I've had no instructions on this thing. Here's what we're dealing with here. I got the nice screen up.
Not available. Move comma to a new location.
GPS not available. This is it, I'm taking off. All right, I'm gonna let one guy run by. Okay, here we go. 2, 1. Here we go. 2, 1. Whoa! Oh man, this thing is fast. Okay, it is far. Okay, this is like the only GoPro Karma prototype on planet Earth right now, and I've got it like a mile from me. The thing's uptown. Okay, bringing it back. Got 21 minutes left in this flight, so I think it's time to step it up a little bit and try something a little bit more complex. That is the operating the drone while flying the boosted board. This is my first time on this thing, so this will be telling. All right, wish me luck. So that's it. That is the first look at the GoPro Karma drone system stable. That was an unfinished product. The software wasn't finalized, so I'm gonna reserve giving you my judgment on it. But I can say this, it's very, very exciting that that is where things are headed. Like in one backpack is essentially like a 4K Steadicam, a helicopter with a stabilized cam. Like if you had told a younger version of me that I would have all of that available to me in a backpack, I wouldn't believe you. All right, full disclosure here.
Stop this thing, by the way. I didn't want to f up your
You
camera.
push the red button here.
Yeah.
This is Colin from GoPro. He's sort of been supervising my visit today with the prototype Karmas. I've been telling him, like, don't tell me how to use this, let me figure this thing out. But I don't get to keep these. When do I get one?
So we said today they'll be available on October 23rd.
When I said I didn't get any instructions or anything, I mean it. When I said that I had not been given any instructions, I really wanted to try this thing without anybody teaching me how. Dude, thank you for letting me play with it.
My pleasure.
Thanks for
It's been
showing
fun.
up.
We always love sharing stuff with you, Casey.
I'm very impressed that you could ride a boosted board.
I've had a little practice.